You are half scrolling through your phone, not really looking for anything. A cat appears on your screen. It does something ridiculous. Maybe it fails a jump or stares into the camera like an unimpressed god. Why do you stop for this? You smile. Maybe you send it to a friend. The obvious explanation is simple: cats are cute, and the internet loves cute. But the real answer is far stranger. The real answer involves a medieval pope, a rat plague, and a status game you didn't know you were playing. How could those possibly connect? Because the very thing that put that cat on your screen is the same thing that once got its ancestors thrown into fires. Step back nearly 800 years. You are in a European village. Night has fallen, and a cat moves silently across the cobblestones. Its eyes catch the light, glowing. It slips through the shadows, completely indifferent to you. In the medieval mind, this is not a pet. This is something else entirely. What did they see? A historian named Kathleen Walker Makel has documented how cats became symbols of the demonic in the Middle Ages. Their nocturnal habits, their vertical pupils, their unnerving silence. These were not accidents of nature. They were proof. Proof that cats walked with the devil. And in 1233, Pope Gregory IX made it official. He issued a papal bull called Vox in Roma. In it, he described how heretics worshipped the devil in the form of a black cat. The document described a ritual where initiates kissed a cat's hindquarters. The cat was no longer just an animal. It was a literal demonic familiar. What followed was a continent-wide purge. Why such violence? Cats were rounded up and burned, sometimes by the thousands in public spectacles. In the French city of Metz, a tradition called the cat music involved burning a basket of live cats for the amusement of a crowd. The killing continued for centuries. By the 1300s, cats had become disturbingly scarce in many parts of Europe. What happens when you remove a predator? Some scholars, like the evolutionary biologist Dennis Turner, argue that this absence had an unintended consequence. Rat populations exploded. The Black Death arrived in 1347, carried by fleas on rats. It killed up to 200 million people across Eurasia. You can't draw a straight line from burned cats to the plague, but the two are not unconnected. The traits that made cats demonic nearly got them erased from history. And in that erasure, they helped seal the fate of nearly half of Europe. Now fast forward. You are no longer in a medieval village. You're wherever you are now, holding a small glowing rectangle. A cat enters the frame again. But this time, nothing about it has changed. It still moves with that same silent indifference. It still refuses to perform for you. It still stares through you as if you matter less than a patch of sun on the floor. Why does that feel so refreshing? And that, right there, is the key. The very traits that made it a demon in the 13th century have made it a star in the 21st. How did that flip happen? Because the internet is a relentless performance machine. Every human you see on social media is, to some degree, managing a performance. They craft their image, they angle their selfies, they select the version of themselves they want you to see. You do this too, even without realizing it. It's exhausting. Why does the status game leave you drained? Because it's a quiet competition where everyone is trying to seem effortlessly likable, interesting, or attractive. And then there's the cat. The cat does not care. The cat is not performing for anyone. It is not trying to be liked, shared, or subscribed. It is simply existing with a complete and total lack of self-consciousness. What does that indifference offer you? In a world of filters and curated captions, that genuine indifference is pure gold. In 2015, a media researcher at Indiana University named Jessica Gall-Myrick decided to study this phenomenon. She surveyed nearly 7,000 people about their cat video consumption. What she found was counterintuitive. People weren't just passively entertained. They felt significantly more energetic and optimistic after watching cat videos. Anxiety and sadness dropped. Why would watching a distant animal trigger that? The reason she suggested was that cats offer a kind of emotional reset. You don't compare yourself to a cat. There's no social threat, no jealousy about its vacation photos, no anxiety about whether it looks more successful than you. You simply witness a creature being exactly what it is. Is that what you're really seeking? It's a tiny escape from the exhausting human status treadmill. But here's a deeper twist. Sharing that cat video is also a status move. What are you actually doing when you send it to a friend? You're not just passively scrolling. When you send your friend a cat falling off a sofa, You were doing something subtle. According to research on social sharing by Jonah Berger at the University of Pennsylvania, people share content that makes them look good to others, not just knowledgeable, but human. Sharing a cat video is a low risk, high warmth signal. What does it signal about you? It says you are not taking yourself too seriously. It says you are someone others can connect with. It says you are safe. The cat, the former demon, has become a social token that lubricates human connection. It costs you nothing to share, but it pays out in tiny bits of social capital. How did the definition of value reverse so completely? The medieval mind saw the cat's independence and called it evil. The modern algorithm sees the same thing and calls it content gold. Platforms are engineered to maximize engagement. What holds attention best? Nothing holds it like the unexpected, the emotionally pure, the unpolished. A cat doing something dumb is the opposite of a polished ad campaign. It's a crack in the performance facade. The algorithm learns this. It feeds you more cats. You click, you smile, you share. And the cat, just by being a cat, climbs higher in the attention economy. It didn't change. The entire civilization around it changed. What does that tell you about the world you've built? The animal that was once hunted for sport has become the apex predator of your attention. It didn't need to adapt. It simply waited for the world to flip its entire value system upside down. Think about the names given to these internet cats. Grumpy Cat, Keyboard Cat, Smudge the Cat. Are these names of affection like you'd give a dog? They are often monuments to the cat's aloofness or absurdity. Grumpy Cat wasn't loved despite her frown. She was loved because of it. What were you really celebrating? Her expression was a perfect mirror of how you feel when someone tells you to smile for the camera. She was a tiny, furry rebellion against the demand to perform happiness. The internet made her $1 million franchise. Why would a frowning cat succeed where so many smiling humans fail? Compare that to the medieval cat music in Metz. Back then, the community gathered to laugh at the animal's suffering, projecting their fear onto it. Today, the community gathers to laugh at the animal's stubborn refusal to be anything other than itself. What changed in the crowd? The fear has been replaced by a very modern form of reverence. People don't burn the creature that refuses to perform. They put it on a virtual pedestal and let it accumulate millions of views. It is a civilizational scale underdog story. The demon became the icon. And you, watching that cat right now, are part of that story. What does your brain make of this ancient creature? Your brain is running ancient pattern recognition software. A part of you still finds those glowing eyes a little uncanny. That's the old fear, buried under centuries. But another part, the part that has to navigate endless social posturing, recognizes something else. What does it see? It sees freedom. Freedom from the performance. Freedom from the status game. That cat is not trying to climb any social ladder. And in a world where everyone is, what does that make the cat? It makes it a quiet celebrity. A celebrity who doesn't even show up. So the next time you swipe onto a cat video, pause for just a second longer. Notice the cat's unblinking stare. Notice how it moves as if the camera isn't there. Notice how it gives you nothing that you demand. And then ask yourself why you like it so much. That liking is not just about cuteness. It's about a deep, almost subconscious recognition that you are watching something rare. Something that has no strategy, no ulterior motive, no performance anxiety. In your feed, that is the most radical thing imaginable. The medieval church tried to wipe this creature out because it seemed to answer to no one. The internet has resurrected it for exactly the same reason. Doesn't that reveal something about you? The cat's radical autonomy, once demonic, is now the ultimate status of authenticity. And in the noisy theater of your screen, authenticity is the most valuable currency there is. The demon cat didn't just become a star, it won. And now, when you put your phone down, the screen goes dark, but that creature's indifference lingers. The same stare that once terrified a continent just made your evening a little better. The heretic became your companion. The demon became the most honest thing on your screen. Why did it take a cat to show you what real honesty looks like? If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. A new story every week.